Good afternoon, everybody. Y'all know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, don't check your watch. I'm going to tell you what time it is. It is now o'clock. As y'all are coming in, shout yourselves out in the comment section. Tell me where you're checking in from location-wise. We are live on Facebook /Work on Your Game. Also on my Facebook group, Six Figures and Growing. And we are live on Instagram at Dre Baldwin. We're going to get into this in a second. Drink a lot of water today. The humidity is back in South Florida. It's crazy humid in South Florida right now. And after several days in a row of humidity, the humidity starts to stack up. So it's so humid in the gym today. It's the most I sweat in a workout all year so far is May. So it kind of makes sense, I guess. Shout out to everybody checking in. Shout yourselves out in the comment section. Mark, what's going on? Clarissa checking in from VA. We got Kiel. What's going on to you? Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day, former 9-year pro athlete, author of 33 books, done 4 TED Talks, created this whole brand called Work on Your Game. What we do here is we take the mental tools to help athletes get to the top 1% in sports, and we translate those tools over from the sports world to the business world to help professionals and entrepreneurs like yourselves perform at your highest level, do it consistently, and as a result, you're going to make more money in your business. The real Nico, what's going on? Good afternoon to you. What we're going to talk about here today is some money mistakes that you make when you are selling. And understand that all of you are salespeople. Whether you call yourself a salesperson or not, we're all salespeople. Because anytime you're trying to influence or persuade another person, you are selling. So I'm going to talk about some mistakes that we make here. And what you're going to do is by reverse psychology, you're going to look at the mistakes. And then you're going to know how to fix these mistakes. I'm actually going to lay these out for you. I'm going to spell it out for you. I don't always spell it out for you, but I'm going to spell it out for you here. So for those of you who are new around here, I'm going to point out the mistake. I'm going to tell you why it's a mistake. I'm going to tell you what you could do better or different. If you have a question or a comment, I don't even have to tell you all. Just put it in the comment section. I'll address, if I see any good ones, I'll address them either at the end or while I am talking. So again, money mistakes and selling. And by the way, those of you who don't know, I send out a daily motivation text every single day, free of charge to everybody who's in my text community. So if you want to get it every day, all you got to do is in this chat here, if I can get it to come up. You can just text me at this number right here that I'm putting in the chat, 305-384-6894. And every day I put out a podcast called Work on Your Game. Work on Your Game podcast is on Apple, Spotify. Y'all know all the places to find podcasts. Look my show up. Comes out every single day. So if you like what I'm about to share here, what I'm about to talk about, you will love the podcast. It's every single day, free of charge. It's the best way to get mentored by me. Mentoring is the stuff that I do for free. Coaching is the stuff that I do for money. So I'm going to tell y'all, y'all can get the free stuff. And this live is, I guess you call this mentoring too. But all the professionals I know, people who are making the kind of money that most of you want to make, or they invest somewhere, somehow. You don't even have to be with me. But you got to invest somewhere, and then you want to take yourself to the next level. Let's get into the topic, though. So number one, we're talking money mistakes and selling. Actually, before I get into number one, understand that selling is the oldest profession in the world. It is also the highest paying job in the world. So any of you who don't like sales, or you don't like to call yourself a salesperson, or you don't want to call yourself a salesperson, understand something. You're not wrong. There's nothing wrong with you not wanting to be a salesperson, or you don't call yourself a salesperson, or maybe you don't like sales. Understand that as long as you want to hold that position, you are limiting how much money you can make. Everybody catch that? This is not even the first point. This is the intro. If you are not, you don't want to call yourself a salesperson, you don't like sales, you don't want to put yourself in a position of being a salesperson because you have some negative connotation with the concept of selling. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm telling you what you can do, and I'm going to tell you what's going to be the result of what you do depending on what choice you make. You are limiting your income potential in life if you don't want to call yourself a salesperson. The highest paid people in the world are all salespeople, all of them. Elon Musk is a salesperson. Steve Jobs was a salesperson. Jeff Bezos is a salesperson. Who else are highest paid people in the world? Donald Trump, before he got into politics, salesperson. Even when he got into politics, he was a salesperson. That's how he won that election. He was a salesperson. Barack Obama, salesperson. All right, and they are making a ton of money after being president just because of the fact that they were president. These are all salespeople, folks. All right, everybody with me here? The highest paid people in the world are all salespeople. All right, so you got to figure out what is your product or service that you're offering, and then you got to focus on selling it. That's how you're going to maximize your income and your revenue in life. And even if you are not a money-driven individual. Not everybody's money-driven. Not all of you is, your main focus may not be money. Maybe your main focus is you just want to create enough so you can live the lifestyle you want to live. Maybe you just want to spend more time with your family. Maybe you just want to be good enough to take care of yourself. Whatever it is, we all need food, clothing, and shelter, right? We all need a certain amount of money to live. If you have kids or family, you want to be able to create some cushion and some financial space for them so that they can be comfortable even when you're not around anymore. That means you got to sell. You got to make money. So money is part of the equation, whether you want it to be or not. I would suggest that you want it to be, because you'll probably do a better job of it if you accept the fact that money is part of the game rather than trying to fight it. All right. So the highest paid salespeople in the world, highest paid people in the world, rather, are all salespeople. They're all focused on selling. They're all focused on marketing, and they embrace this. So let's address the mistakes that people may be making so that you are not making them. Number one, money mistake that you make as a salesperson is selling to people who buy by price or consider price as the number one factor in their purchasing decision. You don't want to be selling to these people. These are people who buy based on price. You don't want to be selling to these people. For the most part, you don't want to sell to them, with one exception. I'll give you what the exception is. But first of all, let me explain what this means. I was just on a coaching call with somebody who's a member of my university today. We were talking about this exact thing. And he's in a service-based industry. And I was asking him, all right, and we were talking about calls. He's going to be making cold calls to some people that he wants to sell his services to. And I said, all right, what are you going to say when they ask you, what makes you different from anybody else who's out there? Now, they may never ask that question, but I told him, you need to put that out there so that they understand it before you even start going into your pitch or asking any questions, because if they don't see what makes you different, why do they need you? And this is what I'm saying directly to him, because otherwise you become a commodity. It's kind of like when you go to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, you need to buy let's say you need to buy some napkins because you're having a party. You need to buy some napkins. What brand of napkins do you buy when you go to the grocery store? When you go to Walmart, when you go to Target, what brand of napkins? Any of you got a preferred brand of napkins? I don't think anybody does. For the most part, we don't. Now, you might pick one that looks like more of a brand name, or maybe one that looks like it might be thicker, or usually it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. That's called a commodity. Or if you're buying ketchup, does it really matter? Maybe you'll buy Heinz ketchup, maybe some of you. For the most part, it's a commodity. All right, you know what a commodity is? A commodity is an item that it seems like in the mind of the consumer that everything is pretty much the same. So it doesn't matter which one they buy. And when everything seems the same, you know what people usually buy? The cheapest one. You don't want to be a commodity as a salesperson. When you are selling anything, whether you're selling yourself, you're selling a service, or you're selling a physical product, the last thing you want to be is a commodity, because commodities are interchangeable. It doesn't matter which one I pick. Therefore, I'm going to just pick the cheapest one because they're all the same. Like, somebody sent me to the store and said, get some napkins, Dre, get some napkins, because we're having a picnic next week. We just need some napkins. Get at least 200 napkins. I'm going to get the cheapest one I can get. Why? So I can save some money. Why does it matter which one I buy? Well, I got to buy the one that costs $3 if I can buy the one that costs $2, because they're the same. That's a commodity. You don't want to be this. Okay, everybody understand? And the people who buy based on price, they're buying commodities. These are the people who shop at Walmart. And I'm going to assume, I may be wrong, any of you could correct me in the comments if you like. I'm going to assume most of you don't want to compete with Walmart on price, because Walmart will beat you. They have economies of scale to where they can sell a whole bunch of products at very, very low prices. I mean, that's their whole thing, everyday low prices. You don't want to compete with Walmart. And in your space, I don't care if you're a coach, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a physical therapist, you're a mindset therapist, you're a psychologist, you're a personal trainer, you're an auto mechanic, you sell cars, you sell clothing, whatever it is that you do. You sell baked goods, you sell cupcakes and cookies and pies. You do not want to be selling on price. You do not want to sell on price, because if you sell on price, then people are going to be comparing your stuff to the cheapest thing they could possibly buy. And if somebody else has a lower price than you, then they're going to buy their stuff instead of buying your stuff. You're not going to make any sales. In the sales game in general, as a general rule, if you're not going to be the cheapest person, you might as well be the most expensive person. Let me take a sip of water while you marinate on that point. If you're not going to be the cheapest, you might as well be the most expensive. All right. You do not want to sell to people who are buying on price. Okay, so when you're selling, do you want to be Walmart or do you want to be Gucci? All right, do you want to be the cheapest? You want to be what's another place to sell stuff for cheap? All right, you want to be the local thrift store? You want to be the Goodwill store? You want to be Louis Vuitton? All right, which one do you want to be? Now you might think, and this is where a lot of entrepreneurs mess up. And I talk to entrepreneurs every single day. Many entrepreneurs have this false belief that if they make their price low or quote unquote fair or quote unquote affordable or quote unquote reasonable, anything along those lines, if I set a low price, that means it'll be easy for people to make a purchasing decision because the price is so low. So it's easy for them to buy. It's affordable. That's another quote unquote affordable. Then I'll do a whole bunch of volume because the price is so low and a whole bunch of people are going to buy from me. Again, similar to what Walmart does. Walmart does a lot of transactions every single day. I don't shop at Walmart, but if any of you shops at Walmart, or even if you don't, just go to a Walmart and just sit in the parking lot and just watch how many people go in and come out with bags and bags of stuff every single day. Walmart does a lot of transactions. And one of the reasons they do a lot of transactions is because they have cornered the market on price. They have the lowest prices on everything. Any of you has not read Sam Walton's book? He's the guy who started Walmart. His name was Sam Walton. He's passed away now. I believe the book is called Only in America or Made in America. I think that's the name of the book. But look it up. His name is Sam Walton, and he explains in his book how he built the Walmart empire. And in case any of you don't know, his heirs, his children and his grandchildren are all on the Forbes 400 as like the richest billionaires in America to this very day. It's like in the Walton family is like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 people from the Walton family who are all on the billionaires list of Forbes to this very day. And they all got their own money because of what he built with Walmart. So Walmart does make money. Okay. So I'm not telling you that being the lowest price can't make money. The challenge is only one person can be the lowest price. See, this is the thing. See, how many of you can beat Walmart on price? None of you can beat Walmart on price because they have economies of scale. They can squeeze their vendors. They can squeeze the retailers. They can squeeze their staff. They squeeze everybody. That's why they are able to make so much money. You can't do that. All right. You don't have the economy that Walmart has. All right. Nobody does. Amazon doesn't have the economy that Walmart has. So you do not want to go this route of let me set a low price because that means I'll be able to sell a whole bunch of products. It sounds, in theory, it sounds like it makes perfect sense, but in practice, it does not work. And if you don't believe me, go try it. All right. Take one of your products that you sell for $100, lower the price to $10, and let's see how long you can last in business like that. The thing is not that you won't be able to make transactions. Let's say if I had a product that costs $100 and I start selling it for $10, will I sell more of them? Probably. If I market it enough and let everybody know, hey, I reduced the price 90%. It's only $10 now. Am I going to make more sales? Yes, I am. Here's the thing. Am I going to make money? Am I going to have actual profit on $10 sales as opposed to my $100 sale? The answer is probably no. See, there was this TV show called The Office. I don't know if any of you ever saw it, but it had this fictional paper company, and this guy named Michael Scott, he started his own paper company. He worked for the main company. They were called Dunder Mifflin. He left Dunder Mifflin. He started his own paper company. He wanted to compete against his old boss. So to compete against his old company, he started his own paper company and he offered lower prices. He basically undercut his former employer on price. The thing is, he was about to go out of business. Why? Because he wasn't making any profit on his sales. Every time he made a sale, he was losing money. This is what happens when you try to compete on price. You're actually losing money. You're not making money. There is revenue, but there's no profit. There's a difference between revenue and profit. You don't know the difference. Grab the dictionary. So in my experience, most entrepreneurs are not thinking this way. They're thinking, let me go the low price route. There's someone who's in one of my programs right now. And this person created a course that is teaching people, there's basically some training type of thing. And we'll just leave it at that. I'm not even going to say what industry this is in. And I told this person over and over and over again, over the course of several weeks, all right, you do not need to sell this at a low price. The first time I met them, they were trying to sell it at a super low price. I was like, you don't want to sell it that way. You're not going to make any money. It's going to take you forever. You don't have an audience. How are you even going to find enough people to sell this to make the kind of money that you want to make? They didn't have an answer to the question. They finally put the thing out. They sent me a link to it. I looked at it and they were selling it for still a very low price. This is like less than $100. And this course that they created is teaching people how to move forward in their careers or their business. And if that person sees this, they know exactly who I'm talking about. They know, yes, I'm talking about you. And is how to help people move forward in their career or their business. Now, explain to them, helping somebody move forward in their career or their business is worth a lot of money. It's worth thousands with an S, thousands of dollars, not $20, not $10, not $40. Why would you sell it at such a cheap price? On top of the fact that you don't even have the audience to do volume. Like if you're going to do volume, you better have a million followers on social media, or at least 100,000, or at least something. If you're going to sell in volume, you got to have a whole bunch of people to market this to. You have nobody. You don't have an audience. So how are you even going to do this? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make mathematical sense. But this is what a lot of entrepreneurs do. Okay, and this is especially for those of you who are selling intellectual property. All y'all know what intellectual property means? Intellectual property means you are selling something that's intangible. In other words, you're selling knowledge, insight, advice, strategies, systems, accountability. Anything that you can't hold in your hand is intellectual property. A book, for example, you can hold it in your hand, but it's intellectual property. People are not paying for the pages and the paper of the book. What they're paying for is the knowledge that is on the pages. That's intellectual property. When you're selling intellectual property, your price is extremely flexible. So you can sell at whatever price point you want because there's nothing physical. People are not looking at the physical thing and saying, well, why is it worth this? It's what's in it is what they're paying for. The challenge for many entrepreneurs is that many entrepreneurs just have very, very poor money mindsets. Very poor money mindsets. And this is why they can't sell at a higher price point. Well, we're going to get to that later on in this conversation that we're having right here. So you don't want to try to go for a low price and sell thousands of copies of a low price thing because usually it doesn't happen. And even if it does, you're not going to make enough money because you got to do a whole lot of marketing in order to get that kind of traffic. And if you don't have the mechanisms in place, i.e. you don't have the followers or the audience, where are you going to get all these people from? Where are they going to find you at? They don't know you. And again, you could sell a lot more. You could make a lot more rather on fewer sales if you just had a higher price point. And this is a structural, strategic challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs have when it comes to selling. Okay. And the thing is, you don't want to be selling on, well, this is just low price. That means people are going to jump in. And there's a whole lot of entrepreneurs trying to do this. They're all dumb. They're all making a mistake. Do not join them in their stupidity and trying to do this. Even if you are successful selling low price things, let me tell you what happens when you sell low price items to a bunch of people. You're going to attract a whole bunch of low price customers. Let me ask you all a question. All right. Do you want a bunch of low price customers in your audience? Is that what you want? Do you want a bunch of $5 people in your audience? You want a bunch of $10 people in your audience? Is that what you want? Is that the kind of business that you want to build? Do you want a whole bunch of $5 and $10 people in your audience? Let me tell you what happens when you have a bunch of $5 and $10 people in your audience. You're going to get a whole lot of complaints, a whole lot of headaches, a whole lot of time wasted. You're going to get a whole lot of people complaining. You're going to get a whole lot of people asking for refunds on their $5 purchase because this is what these people are. All right, people are who they are. And as they say, if you lay down with dogs, you attract fleas. You walk away with fleas. This is how it goes. When you sell your products for $5 and $10, you're going to get a whole bunch of $5 and $10 people. Any of you ever shop in Walmart? All right, go in Walmart and walk around. Look at the people. Look at the people who are in there. Listen, I'm no disrespect to people who shop at Walmart, but go around and walk around, look at the people shopping in Walmart. Then I want you to go to anywhere that there are high-end stores. So like the Gucci store, Louis Vuitton, Burberry, places like that, Christian Louboutin, places like that. I want you to walk around in those stores. Look around the people shopping there. Which type of people do you want to associate with? The people in Walmart or the people inside the Louis Vuitton store? What kind of people you want to be dealing with? You got to make a decision. And listen, I ain't saying these people are bad people. I probably got some family members or some friends who I don't even know. They probably shop at Walmart on a regular basis. But guess what? I don't even know. You know why I don't know? Because I don't associate with them on a regular basis. I want to associate with the people walking in Walmart, not Walmart, but Louis Vuitton. What's the other ones? Christian Louboutin, Burberry, Gucci. I want to talk to those people. Why? Because they are willing to spend more money. And I want to price my stuff at a level that they want, not the level that the Walmart people want. But that's just me. Now, that's my business. You get to make a decision about how you want to run your business. As I said, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm telling you what you can do. And I'm telling you what's going to be the result depending on what choice that you make. I'm just laying options out for you. You can do whatever you want. Now, in Work on Your Game University, I will help you make either decision. And I'll tell you the pros and cons of both and how to actually make them work. I'll tell you the strategic process you can follow to make any one of these things work. So if you sell low price things, you're going to get a whole bunch of low price customers. And if you have never sold a bunch of low price products, I have. If you do, what you're going to realize is that these people are not worth the headache that their money is bringing. The money that you make from these people is not worth the headache that you must accept in exchange for their money. You sell a bunch of $10 people, you're going to get headaches that cost more than the $10 that you made from them. You get what I'm saying? And here's something that a lot of people don't know. This is a paradox about sales. The more money somebody spends when they buy from you, the less headache that they are. See, these days, I'll tell you something about me. when I shifted my business model to selling more high ticket stuff, I mean, stuff that costs like more money rather than like you see these books behind me. When I stopped really focusing on selling books and I started focusing selling more high ticket stuff like Work on Your Game University, I have fewer transactions, but a lot more money and fewer headaches. I rarely have any kind of customer service issues. I haven't had many customer service issues this year, knock on wood. All right, so I'm not going to try to jinx myself. I haven't had many customer service issues this year. You know why? Because I'm not dealing with low ticket people. See, when you deal with low ticket people, you get customer service issues. When I was selling books for $9 and $20, I got a lot of customer service issues because I was doing a lot of transactions. That's a lot of different people. And these are all $10 and $20 people. And $10 and $20 people, they conduct themselves completely different than people who spend $5, $10, $20,000. This is just what it is. If you don't know, now you know. Or you can go experience this yourself. Again, don't take my word for it if you don't want to. You can figure it out on your own. Just don't take too long to figure it out. The more money people spend with you, the less headache they bring. This is a paradoxical truth about sales. The more money people spend, the less headache they bring. The less money they spend, the more headache they bring. As long as it's at least $1, people start to feel entitled that you owe them something because they spent $1. But the more money they spend, they bother you less. They're easier to deal with, even though they spent more money. It seems like the opposite should be true, right? It seems like if they spend less money, they should be less of a headache, but it's the exact opposite. People spend more money, they bring fewer problems. So I know that there was a song years ago, Notorious B.I.G., more money, more problems, is the opposite in sales. More money, less problems. All right, that's the way it works when it comes to your customers. So this is why you need to raise your prices. We're going to get to that in a second. So when you got a whole list of low budget people, all right, your headaches will increase exponentially. Point number 2, we are talking here today about the mistakes people make when it comes to selling and money. Number 2 is pricing your stuff based on how everybody else has priced their stuff, quote unquote, everybody else. Who is everybody else? I don't know because, frankly, when it comes to the way that I price my things, I don't really give a damn about what anybody else is doing. I don't. That's one of the keys to my productivity and my output. Because sometimes people ask me, Dre, you put out content every day. You do these live streams. You got this podcast coming up. You got all these books. You've done these TED Talks. You do these things. How is it that you are so productive? Let me tell you one of the keys to my productivity. And this is a side point to what I'm saying here. One of the keys to my productivity is I don't give a damn about what anybody else is doing. All of y'all who are watching this, I don't care what none of y'all is doing. I like you. I respect you. You're a good person. You see me in the street, you can say hi to me. I'll shake your hand, all that. I don't care about what you are doing. I don't care about what anybody else is doing. And I'm telling you that to tell you this. Your prices should not be based on your competition. This is a foolish way to do business. Your prices should not be based on what your competition is doing. And I've seen way too many entrepreneurs do this. Well, I asked somebody tells me their price point. They'll tell me what they're selling. I say, what's your price point? Tell me the price. I say, where'd you get that price from? And they say, well, I looked around at the industry and I saw what everybody else is pricing. So I priced mine competitively with everybody else. This is the wrong answer. Do not do this. Do not price your products based on what everybody else is doing. Why? Why don't you do this? What did I just tell you in point number 1? If you're not going to be the cheapest, be the most expensive. If you price your stuff compared to what everybody else is doing, what did you just do? You just jumped into the middle in the average with the masses where everybody else is. So you can get lost in the mix and nobody's even going to notice that you exist. Why would you do this? This is a bad idea. Do not ever, is a better way of saying that. Do not ever price your stuff based on what your competitors are doing, because unless, here's the only exception. Unless you look at what all your competitors are doing and you decide to be the lowest price person so you can beat everybody on price, or you go the opposite and you decide to be the highest price person so you can beat everybody on price. But if you jump in the middle, that's foolish. Don't do that. That's, now that I told you about it, it's not foolish, it's stupid. Because see, foolish is, I'm using that synonymously with ignorant. Ignorant means to not know something. Ignorant means you just didn't know. So some of you, I'm telling you something that you didn't know right now. You're hearing it. But now that you know it, because I just told you, if you do it anyway, now instead of being ignorant, you're stupid. Because stupid means you know better and you do it anyway. Ignorant means you didn't know better and you did it. So I got a child who's 9 months old. Like, if he does something and gets hurt, is it because of ignorance? He just doesn't know. Now, somebody who's 19 or 29 does something stupid, does something that hurts them, they might be stupid because they should have known better. Like, everybody understand what I'm saying here? So do not price your stuff based on what everybody else is doing. It's a common mistake that entrepreneurs make when you get to set your own price. is you're setting it based on what everybody else is doing. Okay, there are no manufacturing costs for intellectual property products. Therefore, there are no set parameters for how you price your stuff. Now, if I'm selling something like a car, a pair of sneakers, a video camera, then I can at least base my price around the cost of the hard goods. But when it comes to selling intellectual property like coaching, speaking, therapy, things like that, I can price however I want because there's no hard goods. I have no out the door costs to manufacture it because there's no manufacturing. So my price is 100% flexible and variable based on what I'm able to communicate. So how much you can charge and how much you can actually get is one thing to charge, is another thing to get somebody to actually agree and pay you. How much you can charge is based on your ability to sell. It's based on your communication skill. And it's based on a lot of other things too. Your communication, your ability to sell, how is your sales process set up? What is your brand? Do people come in already knowing who you are? Do you have a reputation? What are they pre-framed to understand and believe about you before you get into the sales call? All of these things I coach people on inside Work on Your Game University, by the way. So if you want help with this, the link is on Facebook is in the pinned comment, and on IG is just in my bio. So your price should have nothing to do with what other people are charging for their stuff, because it ain't your business what other people are charging for their stuff. It really doesn't matter what they're doing. Honestly, it doesn't. Now, this is a mindset thing, not paying attention to what everybody else is doing, while we are all right here on social media, which is all based on what? Looking at what everybody else is doing. So I'm telling you, do the opposite of what you're doing by actually using social media. And I use social media too. But let me be clear. How I use social media, I don't scroll on social media. When I get on social media, I'm not scrolling and looking at what people are posting. You rarely see me liking anybody's pictures and stuff like that. Why? Because I really don't give a damn about what anybody else is doing. So y'all can use that as a focus and a productivity hack if you can start using it. If you can discipline yourself to start doing it. It's harder than it sounds. Point number 3. We are talking here today of money mistakes people make in selling. Number 3, continuing to attract and engage with people who cannot afford to pay your prices. Now, this point is assuming that you have actually set prices that are higher than normal. You're not jumping into the middle of the pack trying to compete with everybody else, but you actually set higher prices. Do not keep attracting people who can't afford to pay you. This is a bad idea. So, for example, if I'm selling, these books that you see behind me on the shelf, these books, you can get any of these books for anywhere from free, just pay the shipping, which is usually $9.95 US, to, let me see, what's the most expensive book? Front end. On the front end, you get my book Working Your Game for $25. All right, $25. So let's say it's a $25 book. If I keep running ads for $25 books, what am I going to attract? A bunch of $25 customers, the people who actually buy it, or less, $25 or less customers. But then I want to sell them on, let's say, getting into my university was a lot more than $25. Well, how am I going to make sales? I'm not, because I got a bunch of $25 people. I'm trying to sell them something that costs a lot more than that. It's not going to work. It's bad math. As we say in sales, the math ain't mathing. All right, this is just bad. This is bad arithmetic. You got to attract the kind of people who are actually willing and able to pay the prices that you want to sell at. Now, the question many of you may be having, Dre, I get that. How do I do it? Well, that's the reason why I have a university. I will actually help you do that. But you need to have a strategy for doing this. You need to have a strategy for attracting the right type of people into your business, not just you doing stuff randomly and hoping that it works. We call this the hope and pray method. Some entrepreneurs, some of you who are listening to me right now, are operating by the hope and pray method. Let me just throw something out there and hope and pray that it works out. All right, how is that working for you? Let me take a sip of water while you think about how that's working. The hope and pray method is bad business, everybody. It's 2023. There's no reason for any of us to be operating by the hope and pray method. We all need to be operating by a clear, strong process. The good news for all of you, as opposed to an entrepreneur, let's say 20 years ago or more, is that you have access to a whole bunch of people who are already out here playing the game and know exactly what they're doing and can help you play the game and know what you're doing. All you got to do is connect with them, collaborate with them, even if it means you need to pay them to collaborate with them. It's still a collaboration, and let them show you what they're doing. We call this borrowing other people's brains. Borrow somebody else's brains so that you don't have to figure it all out by yourself. If you are stuck in what you're doing in business right now, you're not getting the outcomes you want, and you've been trying to do it on your own for a while, yet you keep trying to do it on your own, even though you know doing it on your own is not working. Okay, is that ignorance or is it stupidity? You tell me. I just gave you the definition of both words. Which one is it? Is it ignorance or stupidity if you know that doing it by yourself is not working, but you keep trying? What is that? Is that ignorance or stupidity? It's one or the other. It is one or the other, folks. At some point, you got to look at yourself and say, okay, I've done as much as I can on my own. Let me go apply what I have and combine it with what someone else has so that I can start getting the kind of results that I want. Remember what business we're in, everybody. We are in a results and performance-based business. This is not a prove that you can do it by yourself-based business. Everybody hear that? The era that we live in now is called the collaboration era, which means the people who have the most opportunity, the people who are moving forward the fastest, the people who are making the most happen are the people who are collaborating, not the people who are trying to prove they can do everything by themselves. Doing everything by yourself is the least efficient and the slowest and the least effective way to achieve results. Why? Because you only have 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, 1 brain, and you can only be in one place at a time. Whereas other people, if you got other people connected with you, you can get a lot more done in the same amount of time that you could get done by yourself. This is why you need to be collaborating with other people instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So that's a side point to my bigger point here. We're on point number 3. Don't keep attracting people who cannot afford to pay you. You need to be attracting the right type of people, the right type of client for whatever your offer happens to be. All right. So your number one duty as a business owner is to increase value for shareholders. What does that mean? That means whoever owns the business, you want to be making money. All right, you own a business, the business is supposed to be making money. That's the point of starting a business, to make money. That is the operative goal of a business, is to make money, produce revenue. Shareholder just means the owners of the business. So if you got more than one person who owns the business, you got a business partner, you're all both shareholders. If it's just you, you're the main shareholder, you're the only shareholder. If any of you own stocks, for example, you're a shareholder in that business. The job of that business is to make money so that you, as an owner of the business, the value of what you own increases. What that means, you sell it, you get dividends, et cetera, et cetera. So you may win friends and influence people when you bring in people who cannot afford to pay you, but you're influencing people who don't have the power to move your business forward. So they win, but you don't. So it's a win-lose situation. You don't want that. And you don't want them to lose either. So you want to bring in the right kind of people who are actually interested in and capable of buying what you are selling. That means you need to get strategic about how you're marketing your business. There's a strategy behind this. You don't just randomly do stuff. Again, when I talk about the hope and pray method, where you just randomly do stuff and hope that it works out, there needs to be a strategy behind how you are operating your business. And if you don't have a strategy, and if you couldn't explain what your strategy is, let me help you out. If you can't explain your strategy, you don't have a strategy. All right, everybody got me? Let me take another sip of water while y'all marinate on that point. If you cannot explain the strategy of how you are marketing your business, i.e., how you are bringing in people who actually can and want to buy what you're selling, if you cannot explain and articulate your strategy, you do not have a strategy. Here's the good news. That was the bad news, that you may not have a strategy. The good news is there are plenty of people out there who know how to help you strategize in your business. Inside of Work on Your Game University, we have several different programs where we help people strategize and lay out what they're doing in their businesses. So if that's something you want help with, again, that's workonyourgameuniversity.com. So the people who cannot afford to pay you, all right, doesn't mean that these are bad people. All right, so I just told you, I'm not trying to sell to people who shop at Walmart. I'm trying to sell to people who shop in Miami. We got this place called the Design District. They got Louis Vuitton, Christian Louboutin, Gucci, Prada, name all those high-end stores. They got one of them in all up in that area. They got one of those stores for every name brand, high-end retailer you can name. They got one. I want to sell to people who shop there. Why? Because those people are spending the kind of money that I want to charge for what I'm offering. But that's just me. You got to think about what you're trying to charge and what you're offering and who you want to do business with. You need a strategy to do this. I help people strategize doing these kind of things. So it doesn't mean that these people are bad people. Or if you shop at Walmart, you're not a bad person. All right, don't be mad at me because I point out that you shop at Walmart, because Walmart got a lot of customers. All right, so if I say this, somebody's got to be offended because somebody shops at Walmart. There's a whole lot of people who shop at Walmart. I have no problem with you shopping at Walmart. As a matter of fact, where was I at? I was in Oregon 2 months ago. Was that 2 months ago? 3 months ago, I was in Oregon. And I stopped at a Walmart because I just needed to get because I was traveling. I just needed to get some groceries and some snacks. And I got some stuff from Walmart. What was it? It was like some bread and some peanut butter and some candy and some bottled water, something like that. I got it from Walmart. So I'm not a normal Walmart shopper, but I will go on Walmart if I need to grab something real quick because I know what Walmart has. Thing is, I ain't trying to shop at Walmart every day, and I don't want Walmart customers in my world. That's me. Now, you got to know what you want in your world, and you need to sit down and really think about this Turn the computer off, turn the internet off, and really think about how you are operating your business. And instead of you trying to do it the slow way, which is you trying to figure it out all by yourself, get with someone who already has figured it out so they can help you just plug into what they have already figured out, so you can achieve triple the results in half the time. If you're serious about getting results. Some of you ain't serious about getting results. You're serious about talking about it. You ain't serious about really doing it. That's a different conversation, different day. Point number 4. We're talking here today about money mistakes you are making as a salesperson. Number 4 is the biggest one. Your poor money mindset. Hey, son. I see my son over there. He's walking with his little walker. He's getting ready to walk. Your poor money mindset. What is a poor money mindset? I talked about this in the episode of my podcast, episode 2214, how your poor money mindset is keeping you broke. If you have not listened to that episode, go find my podcast on your favorite podcasting app and listen to it. Your mindset around money is probably the biggest determining factor of how you're going to do in business. It is not your product. It is not your service. It is not your customers. It is not the market. It is not your timing. It is not how much you charge, because all of those things are affected by your mindset around money. So if you have a poor money mindset, then all that stuff I was talking about with Walmart, that's probably what you're doing because of your money mindset. It's not because you can't do anything different. It's not because you don't understand. It's because your mindset drives your actions. Does everybody agree with that? That the way you think determines what actions you take? Most of us agree with that, right? The way that we think, it controls the things that we do and the things that we don't do. When your mindset around money is down here, relatively low, you're going to do things that are going to attract this kind of money. Your mindset is here, you're going to do things that attract this kind of money. Your mindset is here, you're going to do things that attract this kind of money. So that money mindset is a big deal. And any of you who's never done any work on your money mindset, you need to do work on it because it is affecting your business either positively or negatively every single day with every single thing that you do. This money mindset is the number one thing that will hold you back in business, even if you're not aware that it's holding you back. It's probably holding you back. You've never done any intentional work on your money mindset. Your money mindset is holding you back, guaranteed. I don't even have to know you. I know that it's true. I talk to enough entrepreneurs to know this to be, I'm not even going to call it a fact. I'll call it a truth. If you have never done intentional work on your money mindset is in your way. And no matter how much money you're making, the more you do work on your money mindset, you can keep raising the ceiling on your money mindset. You can make more money. So if you're making 50 grand a year, you could do work to get to 100 grand a year. You're making 200, you could do work to get to 500. You're making 500, you can do work to get to $1 million. You're making $1 million, you could do work to get to 10 million. So you can always raise the ceiling on your money mindset. But until you raise that ceiling, you're going to keep hitting it. Your head's going to keep bumping up against that ceiling. And it's not a glass ceiling. It's like a concrete ceiling. All right. Glass breaks. All right. It's hard. I never saw anybody break concrete with their physical body. Maybe one of those martial arts guys, but I don't think it's concrete that they break. You can break glass. I've seen people break glass by accident. You ain't breaking concrete by accident. Everybody follow what I'm saying here. You have never done work around money mindset, and the people you grew up with did not have healthy money mindsets. You need to work on yours because you have a poor one right now. 99% sure. Now, how do you know the people you grew up with? When I say people you grew up, I mean the people who raised you, like if you had older brothers or sisters or your parents. How do you know if they had a poor money mindset or a healthy money mindset? You know they had a poor money mindset if they never sat you down and actually talked to you directly and positively about money. They had a poor money mindset. Let me say that again. The people who raised you, whether that was your aunts, your grandparents, your uncles, or just your parents, if they never sat you down and had direct conversations with you about money in a positive way, they had a poor money mindset. By default, they had a poor money mindset. Even worse, if they sat you down and told you negative stuff about money, like money doesn't grow on trees, we're not made of money. They always say we can't afford it when they don't even know how much something costs. Or they gave you a bunch of negative energies around money to where you have these negative feelings around money to this very day. That's a poor money mindset. So if your parents ever told you any of those things, those are poor money mindsets. Your parents ever said to you, we can't afford it, and they didn't even know the price of the thing they were talking about, that's a poor money mindset. If your parents ever said to you, we're not rich, that's a poor money mindset. If your parents ever said, that they couldn't afford something without even asking themselves, how can I afford it? If you were never taught to use the phrase, how can I afford this, instead of I can't afford it, that is a poor money mindset. If you were ever told, well, we're poor, or we're not made of money, or money doesn't grow on trees, you were taught a poor money mindset. And if you've never done any intentional work to undo that bullshit, you still have a poor money mindset to this very day. You might be 50 years old with a poor money mindset. Doesn't mean you can't change, but it does mean you need to do something about it. You must address that. And it does not happen by osmosis. It doesn't just randomly happen. You got to do the work to fix your money mindset. And guess what? And Work on Your Game University, I got a whole training on money mindset. I got more than one training on money mindset inside of Work on Your Game University. Why? Because I understand how important this is, especially for entrepreneurs, because as entrepreneurs, we get to set our own price. Now, if you work at a job, they kind of tell you what the salary range is, and you take it or you don't, you take it or leave it. But as an entrepreneur, you get to set your own price. You could give yourself a raise tomorrow if you want to. As an entrepreneur, you can just raise your prices if you want. It's not the same at a job. At a job, you kind of you got what you got. You may get a raise, but you get a raise. As an entrepreneur, you give yourself a raise. It's two different things. So have you done the work as an entrepreneur to raise the ceiling on your money mindset? Until you do, you will continue to have issues around money and income in business, because business is about money and income. Contrary to what anybody told you, business is about money and income. It's about other things too, but your number one duty as a business owner is to generate money, period. So anybody told you anything different, they had a poor money mindset. I remember once I asked my mom, we were sitting at the kitchen table. We had a little TV in the kitchen. I had to be maybe 10 years old. And the news was on. We had the news on. And I said, Mom, and they were talking about the government, like Democrats and Republicans. And I understood at that point there was a difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. So I said to my mom, Mom, are we Democrats or Republicans, our family? My mom said, we're Democrats. And I said, why? And she said, because Republicans only work for the rich people. And here's what I want you to get from that statement. Not that we were Democrats, but that she was drawing a line between rich people and us, which meant we weren't rich. And that's a poor money mindset. My parents had very poor money mindsets. I had to undo the nonsense that I learned from them in order to do what I do now. That's the reason I can talk about it, because I know what it looks and sounds like, so I know how to undo it. I know how to get the nonsense out so we can put the good stuff in. But you had to do the work. This is not happen by accident, everybody. Poor money mindset will cause you to undervalue yourself. You will undervalue your material. You will be unwilling and unable to ask for money, especially the amounts that you want. You will not see value in what you offer, and a whole bunch of other poor outcomes will spring from these root causes, i.e., like one simple one is that you're not making the kind of money that you want to make. And if you're not making the kind of money that you want to make, I guarantee you the root of it is something in your money mindset needs to be fixed. There's a ceiling on your money mindset, and you can raise it up. And again, this could be at any level of money, by the way. You could be making $800,000 a year, and you want to make more. You want to make $8 million a year. But there's something about your money mindset that needs to change for you to go from 800,000 to 8 million. That's a 10x change. You got to change something in your money mindset, because right now your money mindset is causing you to hit 800. You want to get to 8 million. You got to change your money mindset. You're making 40 grand a year, and you want to make 400,000. Something about your money mindset has to change. You're making 50 grand a year. You want to make 100,000. Something about your money mindset must change. So again, this has nothing to do with how much money on an absolute level. This is about relatively where you're at and where you want to be. You can change this at any time, but you must put the time in. You must put the work in. So with all that said, let's recap these points here. If anybody has a question or comment, anything I said, put it in the comments right now. I'm going to recap my 4 points. Topic here today is money mistakes that we make as salespeople. Number one, selling to people who buy by price and consider price first. These are usually bargain hunters and price shoppers. These are people who shop at Walmart. You don't want to be selling to Walmart people. I don't think most of you want to sell to Walmart people. Why? Because you had to be the lowest price person in your space. And the only way to be the lowest price person in your space successfully in business is you must have economies of scale like Walmart has. The kind of system that Walmart has on the back end that allows them to sell stuff so cheap and actually make money, nobody can compete with that. That's why nobody tries, because nobody can beat them. Walmart puts a whole bunch of small businesses out of business every single day. They put a lot of people out of business every day because they can't compete with Walmart's low prices. So you don't want to do it either, because they'll put you out of business too. Number two, pricing based on how everybody else is priced. Here's a productivity and focus hack that I use that you can apply to business as well as your personal life. I don't pay any attention to what anybody else is doing. I don't care what nobody has going on. I don't care what none of y'all is doing. honestly. Unless you're a member of my university, then I care what you're doing. Other than that, I don't care what anybody else is doing. You as a salesperson should not be focused on what other people are doing because it doesn't matter. And do not price your stuff based on what other people are pricing their stuff as, because all you're doing is jumping into the mix. And now you're in the middle with everybody else and you'll get lost in the sauce. Either be the lowest price or the highest price. Number 3, continuing to attract and engage with people who cannot afford to pay you. Why would you do this? If you're selling Louis Vuitton bags, you don't want to stand in front of the Walmart store and try to sell Louis Vuitton bags and Gucci shoes. Why? Because they can't afford them. All right. Why would you be talking to these people? You need to go to the place where the people who can actually buy them or want to buy them will buy them. Maybe people who shop at Walmart can afford them, but they don't want to. All right. They don't want to spend their money there. That's why they're shopping at Walmart in the first place. And number 4, your poor money mindset. Your poor money mindset is the one thing that will hold you back in business more than anything else. And if you have never been taught a healthy money mindset by your parents growing up, and you've never done any conscious, intentional work on your money mindset, then you have a poor money mindset that is holding you back. It is the ceiling, the concrete ceiling, not the glass ceiling, that is holding you back from making more money in your career and in your business. And again, even if you're not a money-driven person, we need money for food, clothing, shelter. All right. So even if money is not your main thing, you still need it for food, clothing, shelter. You got to change your money mindset. You want to make more in your business. And in Work on Your Game University, I have trainings on money mindset. And actually, I work with people directly on this in my group programs and my one-on-one programs. I always work with people on money mindset because damn near everybody has some issues around money. Very few people have a healthy mindset around money. The good news is there's plenty of material out there and teachers like myself who can actually help you with your money mindset, but you have to be open to actually receiving it and getting the training on it. But this does not happen by itself unless the only time it happens by itself is if you were raised by parents who had healthy money mindsets, which meant they sat you down at the table and explained to you money in a positive, healthy way. Most of us never had that. 98% of people never had that. So most of you probably never had that. You probably have a poor money mindset. I had, past tense, a poor money mindset. And so I realized what I had, and then I started working on it. You could do the same thing. So it's not like you're stuck. You can change it, but you have to do something. With all that said, I'm going to put my number to my daily motivation in here again. I send out this text every single day. It's called the Daily Motivation. It's free. All you got to do is text me so you can get this number. If you just text me at that number, 305-384-6894. Number's down below in the description as well. And you'll be getting that daily motivation. I'm going to put it on Facebook too. So anybody who's watching this on Facebook, get this. What's going on, Rochelle? Hope you're doing good over there on Facebook. And workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's the place where you can work with me directly. If you like to be coached by me, if you want to get my trainings on money mindset, on business, on mindset, period. All mindset, not just money mindset, but all mindset that happens inside the Bulletproof Mindset Framework, Business Builder Framework, the Work on Your Game system, the Next Mission Framework, 30 Days of Discipline, ASAP Confidence, Content Machine, Selling Yourself, Toughen Up, a bunch of tactical trainings on different aspects of business. If you listen to this live for the last 48 minutes and I sound like I know what I'm talking about, it's because I do. And I coach people on these kind of things every single day. So if you believe I can help you, just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. The link is in my bio. If you're watching on Instagram, it's in the comments. If you're watching this on Facebook, and make sure you're texting me so you're getting that daily motivation every single day. Anybody got a question, put it in the comment section. I'll take a couple questions if there are any. But maybe this was just amazing and nobody has a question. PHI Fifi, CEO. Poor money mindset. That's why I'm changing narratives for my children. That's what's up. We start them young is easier, right? So if you start working with people on this stuff earlier, then it's a whole lot easier. Rochelle on Facebook said, I was brought up with a spirit of poverty and I have to break that spirit. Yeah, you need to get that money mindset training inside the Business Builder Framework at workonyourgameuniversity.com, Rochelle. That's where you need to go. Workonyourgameuniversity.com and the Business Builder Framework. Anybody else got a question, put it in the comments. I'm just typing this. I'm typing this response to Rochelle over there on Facebook. Okay, I ain't seen any other comments come through. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you all's time. I'll be doing more lives on a regular. Make sure you are checking out the Work on Your Game podcast every single day, free of charge. Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. Y'all know where to find podcasts every single day. It's just me. I don't have guests on my show. Just me talking 20, 30 minutes every single day, giving y'all the serious game, real game on everything you need, mindset, strategy, systems, accountability, and execution. All right, everybody, let me see if I got one more comment on Facebook. Is that it? I think that's it. All right, everybody, work on your game. We are out of here.